For us on elections, we'll concede that we can't predict. We're not going for it. It means there's no fidelity within the two-party politics, and there's no vote between the two. Also, we're not going for it. Going to Heidegger. We'll concede the alternative we can't solve means that neither can the perm. We're not going for it. There's no other offense on the flow. Going to the rhetoric cave. First, we're going to top link. First of the link, their use of words like ecological collapse and environmental destruction causes depolitization of individuals. That's and also causes the government to usurp individual rights, which can cause future genocides and atrocities. Which is what Davidson said. What Davidson says. Also, the alternative is key. We need to clear space when approaching environmental problems. That's and policymakers use rhetoric to get policies passed, and then try to send them rejecting the rhetoric they use. It's necessary to stop these bad politics, and the chaos ways their securitizing rhetoric causes extinction. Davidson, because the rhetoric they use causes the use of military support to attempts to solve military intervention would be used to force people to join within the protest solution, like using the police to stop a protest. And the case turns the case. People are depoliticized because they think that global warming is such a big issue. What can one person do? And they stop trying, and this leads to the further warming. And the case is only a band-aid, even if they solve it in this instance. The way they approach the environmental problems can cause future policy failures, and as individuals are still paralyzed by the rhetoric of global warming. And this round is key. The education we get from this round is essential to interact in the real world. Using apocalyptic rhetoric of the affirmative causes as individuals to give up our agency and trying to stop global warming. And the ontology outweighs first apocalyptic rhetoric destroys value to life, trades life for false notions of security. That's Chris in 2007. Domination comes at huge cost for the human spirit. At the scale of physical impairment and suffering with the apocalyptic fears can destroy human beings pay for the domination of the biosphere, with the alienation for the living on the earth. The threat of climate change has been woefully inadequate and failing to acknowledge the biodiversity crisis that has been occurring independently of climate change and the devastation of species, the ecosystem that has been experienced that will largely enable more climate change that has driven damage. And this outweighs that public over in 2004 humans are capable not only saving their own life but also sacrificing such a free approach to attest to the fact that humans do not identify with what they intrinsically are with physical existence, and that they can confirm the humanity independent of survival. Humans can sacrifice and stabilize because of something that exceeds the value of biological life, and that threat to life perceived by humans as an extreme situation, and only insofar as it jeopardizes also their possibility for living at certain values in situation of the total value vacuum and hopelessness. Life tends to become virtually irrelevant of their human person, and then one may attach to a certain value rather than one's where life. This reveals ontologically unique and spiritual nature of the person. What seems to be significant in any human situation is limited, or that there's limit, or that there are elements of value, orientation, and attachment going to the limelight. First they say it's just metaphors, but that's our argument that using apocalyptic metaphors is bad. Wells says that these metaphors lead to depolitization of the people they accept to totalitarianist regimes in the face of the apocalypse, and that Davidson said that leads to violence. And specifically their number 3 card from the 1AC says uses the phrase environmental collapse. This is what we're talking about. This mindset of seeing the oncoming environmental calling an oncoming environmental catastrophe. Also, there are 1AC number 6 evidence causes ecological destruction, and this is the type of metaphors we talk about. And even if they were just phrases, the fact is that they hold the weight outside the round because people see this, and that then depoliticizes them. Crossed by my analysis from above about the depolitization stuff, and then this leads to violence because people like the government use it to justify new actions like kicking natives off their land so they can build green energy. This is exactly in the context of their affirmative, because the government will use things like these solar powers on these buildings to force people to force people to give individual agency. And if anything, across by my analysis about how it's only a band-aid solution up above, that even if we do build some solar panels, it's only masking the oncoming. It's only masking the deeper problem that people aren't involved in solving this in the first place. And then they make this ethical center leads to action argument, but the ethical center is irrelevant, and the environmental movement fails because doomsayers kill individual political action and extend the alternative. That's it's a clear space for rhetoric is key because we need to reorient the way that we see the environment before we're able to do anything about it. Because otherwise people only see it as this inevitable action that's oncoming. That unless we change the way we think of it, there's going to be no way we'd be able to solve it. And that by changing the way we think about it, that means people become more involved because they're no longer scared by the rhetoric that people like the government or the utility companies use, and they're then able to take a more proactive stance in solving global warming in the future. And they make this prioritized environmentalism argument that there's no reason, that's irrelevant, especially because it is not able to solve in the first place. Then go on to the perm. They don't get perms if we win the framework. The debate is just a yes or no question about whether reps are good and can't ever cause argument or irresponsibility and kills negative link run about their language and performance that is intrinsic to the 1AC. And also they changed the reps from the 1AC. They still use state action as an overarching way to solve that. Trendle in 2006 with the understanding of security as performative rather than descriptive. The debate takes on a new character. The security label is a political choice. When an issue securitize the act itself tends to lead to a certain way of addressing it. The response to it should be questioning environmental security depending on whether way which the security operates. Social relation can be beneficial, effective environmental policy and a perm fail sequencing is key to prevent co-optation. The perm guarantees future environmental destruction. That's Delby. And 99 environmental security is about how politics will be rethought. Complaining this in the academia and generally causes confusion. Policymakers with specific and special interest will attempt to go out arguments in the military can be green with it when it suits an institutional purpose. And the universal politics claims that it claims to have a nasty habit of turning out to be pro concerns rather than be universal garbage to justify narrow political interest policy. Literature that linking environmental issues and security is attention overlooking assumption Anglo-American security thinking. All bold ideas are related to new concerns about the environmental the policy world. Results may not be like anything in mind. The point of the departure takes seriously the desire to fundamentally rethink the whole concept of security as a strategy and reorient to the political thing. Unless security is understood in substantially different ways, the environmental security and security may just turn out to be to maintain the status quo and keep the alternative force. If they win the perm, you can just vote on the K-Turns case and go on the back. And all right. And the K-Turns case for environmental securitization caused extinction in the name of resource protection. That's a meta in 2012. They upshot a normalization of political violence, including over exploitation of energy as a rational strategy, amplifies global systemic insecurity by projecting crisis as security threats. Neorealism renders itself powerful through rising root, causing their neorealist approach entails an inevitable escalation of resource wars, wide states chronically and incapable of effectively ameliorating a global systemic amplifiers of the insecurity to play the rationale, warding off planetary annihilation. And the cable turn case, even if people see that solar panels are economically feasible, that when the government uses rhetoric like this, it's not going to be able to get anyone on board because they're going to think, what can we do anyway? There's no reason to buy these solar panels because that's not going to be able to stop anything.